I am not going to sit here and act like everything's fine with the Chiefs right now. It isn't. There are some, I want to focus on the concerning things that have occurred in both games. Okay, so for instance, week 1, the secondary, which has been a strength of this team, looked hugely problematic against Herbert and the Chargers. Week 2, I thought the secondary looked really good, right? So like that's one good game, one bad game. I'm not focusing on that. Here is what through 2 weeks looks problematic, and I don't know where the solve for it is. The Chiefs' running game is as inept right now as it's ever been since Patrick's been there. Pacheco, sadly, just does not look like the same player he was before he broke his leg. And what's odd about it is his biggest problem through 2 weeks doesn't seem to be explosion. It seems to be vision and hitting the right hole. You wouldn't think that is related to a lower body injury, but he just hasn't been effective. Kareem Hunt is who he is. If you need 1 yard, way more often than not, he will get it for you. But he has no chance of getting you 10. And they brought in Elijah Mitchell. Nothing's happened there. They drafted Rashard Smith in the, I think, 7th round. He's a 7th round rookie. Like, they just right now don't have the horses in the running back room. And that is a spot that I would not at all hate for them to be active on in the trade market. I think there has been a lot of discussion of, should the Chiefs trade for Tyreek Hill? The wide receivers are coming back, okay? If I were doing a trade with Miami, I might be equally, if not more, interested in Devin Achane. Like, I think that there are running backs will be and should be available, and that might be a spot that they have to bite the bullet and spend some draft capital via trade on. So that's one piece. And here's another one. As good as Josh Simmons has been at the left tackle spot, Patrick still doesn't feel totally comfortable in his protection. Now, some of that's been the left guard spot's been really problematic, but Creed's great. Trey's great. Simmons is really good. Jawan Taylor, when he's not committing penalties, is fine. And Patrick just seems like he doesn't trust it right now. And I am as confident in Patrick Mahomes as any player that's ever played in the league that he will figure stuff out. And there have been times this season where it has felt like he's out there, I don't want to say by himself, but nobody can get open. They can't run the ball, which has forced him to, and this is the part of the season that I have liked the absolute least. It has forced him to activate playoff running Mahomes in weeks 1 and 2, and I despise that because it obviously it puts him in jeopardy, which is the biggest concern. But the other thing is, one of the reasons he has had the postseason success that he's had, one of the reasons he has been so much more dynamic and effective statistically and from a winning perspective on a per game basis than any other quarterback in the history of the league come the postseason is because every single postseason he adds a huge weapon to his game that is not there in the regular season, which is the quarterback runs, the scrambles. And if he's using that during the regular season, it has just multiple concerns. One is he can get banged up. Another is you're not getting that auto postseason boost. Like Josh Allen and Lamar are unbelievable runners at the quarterback position. They do it starting in week 1 and never stop. So it doesn't add an element to their game come the playoffs. It has for Patrick. And the last, issue on offense is the greatest tight end in the history of the league has had a really rough 2 weeks. There's no way around it. Third play of the season, I thought it was Xavier's mistake. He says it was his mistake, that he ran the wrong depth of his route, and Xavier's hurt. Later in that game, he and Patrick aren't on quite the same page when they're down 9, about to score. They don't connect on what would have been a touchdown. And then obviously the Eagles game, they're about to take the lead, and he bobbles a pass and it turns into a game-changing interception. That's all it's been highly damaging. I don't know if it's yet highly concerning, but it's highly damaging, okay? So there is that piece of it. On the defensive side of the ball, the only complaint I have after week 2 is they cannot seem to get pressure without sending a blitz. Like, if they rush 4, they just cannot get home. So I don't know if that means the rookies, Ashton Gillott or Omar Norman Lott, need to be more effective. Certainly Charles Omenihu needs to be more effective. Mike Dana got hurt in this game. That didn't help. George Karlaftis just got paid by this team. He needs to be more effective. Like, Chris Jones is a man on an island at times. And so those are real problems, okay? And right now, the Chiefs don't deserve to be anything close to Super Bowl favorites. I'm not going to sit here and act like, they got unlucky, they got this. No. If anything, it is surprising that they have had a chance to win both of these games when they haven't played well. They've missed kicks in both games. They haven't forced a turnover. So that is the true and fair, sober analysis of where the Chiefs are through 2 weeks. Anything past that is nonsense. Anyone trying to peddle, wow, should they be worried about making the playoffs, I think has lost their mind. Now, is the division for the first time in jeopardy? Yeah. When you're 0-2 and a team that beat you is 2-0 with a divisional win, it's understandable that the Chiefs are no longer the favorites in the division, DeMonze. And where does Hard Rock Bet have them at right now?
They've got them at plus 240 to win the division. Should you hammer that?
I mean, listen, as it's not surprising to you probably, I have a lot of exposure already on the Chiefs, futures and season and win total. But I think plus 240 is good value right now. When I do, right now, if I had to pick it, I would still pick the Chiefs to win the division. And part of that is some concerning stuff I saw.
Houston?
From the Chargers.
Oh,
the Houston doesn't apply here. From the Chargers last night, late in that game, and we'll get into that when we talk about the Chargers. I thought the Chargers almost went out of their way to try to keep the Raiders in that game. And it's what's true for Patrick is true for all these quarterbacks. Any quarterback that's running a ton early in the year, I get worried about. And Justin Herbert's running a lot. And, I think that, and he took a wicked shot yesterday. And then they also had him late in the game when the game was decided do another quarterback run that I totally didn't understand. And so I still believe the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC West. You can't right now say they're better than Buffalo or Baltimore. You can say, however, right now, in a span of 2 quick weeks, after for the last few years, the AFC clearly being the better of the two conferences, the NFC right now seems far superior and far deeper. Like Demonte, who are in the AFC East? Buffalo, Miami, New England, the Jets. There's one team you believe in Buffalo. Yeah. The AFC North, Baltimore, Cincy, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. There's one team you believe in. The AFC South, right now, there might be 0 teams you believe in unless you or the generic you to the audience really does believe what the culture doing is sustainable. Right. I don't know that I believe it. The AFC West, on the other hand, might have a bunch of, the Chargers, the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Raiders. Still, like, it's remarkable to me how open the middle part of the conference is. And so I think it's fair to say the Chiefs have basically not punted, but given up the opportunity to be the 1 seed. I think that's fair. I think there's, there are real things they need to clean up. I also feel this way. They are potentially 12 days away from everyone saying how silly we should feel for writing off the Chiefs, because you beat the Giants this weekend. You didn't have a game against Baltimore that if you win, you're right back to being the Chiefs. And all this stuff about, the mystique is gone or this or that, that's gone like that. And that conversation is gone. And so big next few weeks. And big stretch of time before Rashid comes back. Xavier might be back this weekend. He'll definitely be back for the Raven game. And listen, they need to have a receiver that can beat man-to-man coverage. And the idea that like Mahomes is being exposed without a dynamic receiver is belied by the fact that he won league MVP with a receiving core led by Juju and MVS, and the next year won Super Bowl MVP with an even worse receiving core. And last year, they went 15-2 and made the Super Bowl with Rashid missing basically the whole year. So I think that's too reactionary, but somebody's got to get open at some point.